Hi, you guys. I'm Daria Hookfin, the executive producer of the OurStory Festival, and I'm here with Dr. Wanda.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, Dr. Wanda, tell me about your experience at the OurStory Festival thus far.
So far, it's festive, it's alive, it's beautiful. Breakfast was great. We've been spoiled. So I'm feeling the Our Story. By the time this day ends, we'll have an addition to add to our story.
Awesome. Now, why do you think festivals like this is so important?
I think it's important because you get to bring in the best of us. The artisans, the entertainers, the people that work with their hands, the educators, the people that's doing medical stuff. I think you get to bring the whole team together. Plus, it should bridge the diasporan and the locals. It should be a bridge of those. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I feel you. Now, earlier you mentioned that the breakfast, right? Now, would you say that's your highlight? Because we're going to touch on some entertainment later, but what's the highlight thus far?
So far, I think my highlight was the sister who, we had the breakfast and then there was yoga. So we was able to kind of get physical and stretch some and get our minds centered. So that would be my highlight so far.
All right, centering is so important. And
Yeah.
Dr. Wanda, tell us a little bit about who you are. Like, what is it that you do about your company? You're here for what reason?
Okay, well, I'm Dr. Wanda. I am a scholar practitioner, a grassroots activist, and I happen to be an entrepreneur here in the country. So I started Wonderland's Naturals as a means to take care of myself and raise my daughter. I have a teenage daughter who is going to Le Club. She is in boarding school here. And so it's a way for me to feed myself, but also it's a way for me to celebrate the relationship I've made with the local herbalists who have taught me many things that help me heal.
Okay, awesome. So we call that traditional medicine. I mean, non-traditional medicine, or what's that called?
Well, it's traditional medicine for them because this is what they've learned from the ancestors. They've been doing these methods for centuries.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so on the Western side, that's more so kind of like taboo. People are not really open to accepting it. Can you kind of speak to us about like why Western medicine kind of dismisses these types of practices?
Well, they dismiss them because they're so natural, and a lot of what they want to do is stay in the lab. They want to be able to exploit. They want it to be massive amounts. And one thing about local medicine, traditional medicine, because it is traditional to them, is that less is more, and it requires a level of intuitiveness. You have to know specifically what you're trying to treat, and then they know which one of these trees, barks, berries, branches will help you.
Okay, so interesting. You talked about like trees and like nature, right? Those
Yeah.
are essentially what the core is. Now, with the onset of like just a lot of things changing, like climate, climate warming, global warming, the influx of people coming in, have any of those factors like affected traditional medicine in this sense, or where have you seen that kind of space going? Has it affected it more or less?
Well, okay, it does and it doesn't. If it's a rainy season, it's a rainy season, and technically what should be happening is something should be blooming from the dry season, right? We should be getting something that's going to be green and rich and we can pick from it. But if the seasons are off, yeah, of course it affects it, because what should be growing naturally is dried out. If your dry season goes too long, how can you get stuff that is not, it's dried, it's breaking, it's brittle? Yeah.
Got it. All right. And then are there specific African or traditional healing practices that have influenced modern wellness? Like, have you seen a crossover in any of it? Like something that, wow, I never thought that people would be taking this, on a more mainstream basis.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. The what we're calling modern medicine stolen from traditional medicine is just exploited. For example, we know for a fact that the colonizers of Colombia watched those workers chew a leaf to give themselves energy. And they took it back to the lab and extracted it, and then they found out what was the element in it that was giving them energy, and that narrowed it down to what we know as cocaine. And so that's where all of the Coca-Cola, and they was putting it in everything, and lollipops and pop and all of that. And then it was only after the fact that they learned you get addicted. But the way the natural man was taking it, you didn't get addicted. You chewed a little bit of the leaf, you got your energy, you went back to work. So the same is true for the marijuana seed, the same is true for I can't think of other things, but when they discover what it is, instead of allowing it to be used in its natural form, not in excess, they immediately take a bunch of it, make too much of it, and without understanding how it really works, they just put it out. The only thing that a lot of times the natural man knows how to use it, but depending on education, and how much he's learned, in terms of language wise, he can't always explain the science behind it. And people bothering them come to learn the science and then mimic it in a lab. But nothing can upstage God.
Oh, wow.
You want the naturalness of it.
So you guys, you're hearing it right here at the Black Our Story Festival, how important and how impactful our story has been on all societies all over.
Societies.
So Dr. Wanda, so people to just get into the movement, to get in touch with you, where should they go?
Well, first of all, I'm on every social media handle that I'm on as myself. I don't do pseudonyms. So I'm Dr. Wanda, Dr. Wanda Evans-Brewer. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok. You can find me on YouTube. But I really want you to come to Wandaland's Naturals. And it's wandalandsnaturals.com. And this is where you'll find a lot of the sweet spots of healing and information that the local herbalists have taught me. And so it doesn't matter to me where their education level is. I don't worry about FDA, because the FDA approval for me is the fact that they mama's mama was using it and was living healthy.
Awesome, you guys, you heard it right here at the Black Our Story Festival. Come here, we have Dr. Wanda here, a lot of other great people here that are willing and open to supporting you and giving you that knowledge. Thank you so much, Dr. Wanda, for those.
Thank you for having me.